What's up, FA Nation? It is a Thursday night. Sorry for a bit of a late start, but we got a little bit of last-minute news, and because my co-host, Adam Ronis, is so baller, he went and immediately updated all his rankings, and then I had to go change the lineup. So I'm your host, Jen Piacenti. We're going to take all your start-sit questions. Adam Ronis, what's going on this Thursday night?
Yeah, a lot going on right now. Obviously, we have the Buccaneers playing the Bears tonight, and we have the inactives. Mike Evans is active. Scotty Miller is active. And surprisingly, Leonard Fournette is active. He was listed as doubtful, and almost any time someone is listed as doubtful, they don't play. But Fournette's active. I don't know if he'll play a big role, but I know there were people who picked up Keyshawn Vaughn this past week. And there could be some teams that were really desperate at running back with the absence of Nick Chubb and Austin Eckler. Vaughn might have been a desperation play. Wonder what this does for him now. But then again, they could use him in passing situations. So it's very surprising, though, to see Fournette active tonight.
Very surprising. So I had to go move Ronald Jones out of my lineup because not because I don't think he could still have a good game, but because it did just downgrade him just enough that I was able to work Michael Gallup back into my flex and all this business. And these are the things we're here to help you guys with. The other news we're getting is that the Patriots game has been moved to Monday night. And it does look as though the Titans and the Bills are scheduled to play on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's pending no more positive tests for Tennessee. So that's something we're going to have to keep our eye on. And we still have to be prepared as fantasy players for the potential cancellation of that. But we still have a couple days. Hopefully we'll know by Saturday morning, official, or Sunday. But the key is no positive tests tomorrow for the Titans. That's really going to be the key. So it's been a wild couple of weeks here. We've got doubleheaders on Monday. This will be the third doubleheader of Monday Night Football this year, and we will have a Tuesday night game for the first time. So it's going to be wild, but I think overall it's a good thing. We want to see the games go on, and especially if you have Tennessee players. They already had their bye last week. You know, you don't want to have another week of no Derrick Henry, no Jonnu Smith, although now we have to see what's up with A.J. Brown, though, too. They said if they would have practiced, he would have been listed as limited because, remember, Corey Davis and Adam Humphries on the COVID-19 list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much. And I assume this also is going to mean that we don't have Thursday night football next week. But, I mean, stand by, right?
Yeah. There will – well, yeah. Not official, but they have moved that Thursday night game next week, which I believe was I think it was supposed to be the Chiefs, right? Yeah, and so that game has been moved to Sunday. So as of right now, there will be no Thursday night football a week from tonight because it's the Bills-Chiefs. So the Bills can't play Tuesday and they play Thursday. So the Chiefs-Bills, scheduled for October 15th, has been moved to Sunday, October 18th.
So for commissioners, this is something I guess you knew you'd have to deal with, but I think even though we have this game scheduled for Tuesday, and we are hoping that these points will count towards this week, you may want to consider some kind of a contingency plan for your league, letting them pick a backup or something. I know that a lot of commissioners have come up with something because though it only pending no more positive tests, right? There could be no positive test tomorrow. And then on Saturday, there's a positive test. So we are definitely not out of the woods. And if you wake up tomorrow morning and then set your lineup Saturday morning, that's not late enough. You had to set your lineups Sunday morning this week. So we're going to take as many questions as we can regarding the game tonight and with what information we have. But know that everything's got to be fluid this year. Let's start out with the game tonight. Tampa Bay and Chicago. Looks like the spread is 5.5. Last I checked, I don't know if you have anything different. And Tampa Bay's favored. Who are you liking tonight?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, when I last saw it earlier today, it was 3.5.
Okay.
I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to check my DK Sportsbook since I am in Jersey. But yeah, I was kind of surprised it was a little low at 3.5. I thought it might have been a little bit higher. You know, both these teams are 3-1. But, you know, I think Tampa Bay is a better team. And I see, 3.5 on the DK Sportsbook. So if it was 3.5, I'd take Tampa in this. I think they would win it. Mike Evans, we still don't know if he's 100%. He wasn't last week, but he played well. And I'm sure they're going to use him near the red zone. So yeah, there's some injuries for the Bucs, but I just don't think the Bears are that good. I think the Bears are going to have a tough time running the football against that Tampa Bay defense. And if you rely on Nick Foles too much, it's never a good thing.
Any sneaky plays you like for our FanDuel lineups tonight?
Well, I would have liked Keyshawn Vaughn, and you might still be able to roll with him because McCoy's inactive. How much is Fournette going to play? And I think when people see this news, they're going to back off. So you might be able to get him at a lower ownership. But yeah, I mean, it's the typical guys, that Allen Robinson is going to be a good play. I think Darnell Mooney is a long shot. Maybe he can break a big play because it's tough to run on the Bucs. So I think they're going to have to pass. You could look at the Jimmy Graham, Cameron Brate, Gronk, guys like that. Because, Evans, Scotty Miller, all those guys are going to be popular.
Yeah, I like Cameron Brate, actually. I used him in the FanDuel lineup. And I think I took a long shot, plus 1,600 for Jimmy Graham to get the first touchdown. Because why not? With those kind of odds, it could happen. Yeah. That's how you make the money.
The Bucs are not good against the tight end. So they haven't allowed a touchdown to a tight end through 4 games, but they are allowing some yards to the position. So we know Graham gets red zone targets. He's that big body. Right. And sure, that's not a bad dart throw.
Not a bad dart throw. All right, I'm jumping over here to Facebook. We're going to start there for tonight. Hey, guys, PPR League, please choose one. Mecole Hardman, Terry McLaurin, or John Brown?
That's McLaurin, easy. It's not even close. Like, I understand there's a quarterback change here. He's going against the Rams. He's going to see Jalen Ramsey. But McLaurin's had tough matchups all season long and produced. So I have McLaurin. He's in my lineup.
I have McLaurin as well, and I like him. Same league. Should he start Evan Ingram or Rob Gronkowski? It's standard.
It's Evan Ingram. We know how bad the Dallas defense is. The Giants offense has really struggled due to matchups. But if there's any week that Ingram could go off, it's this week. Gronk could have a decent game, but still difficult to trust him. I think this will be the best offensive performance of the year for the Giants. If they can't get it done here against Dallas, then there's definitely big concerns for the Giants offense going forward.
Big concerns, and Evan Ingram is continued to see steady targets, and in a lot of leagues he's been dropped. And so if that's the case, I would go actually pick him up right now if you can. All right, need 2 PPR: McKinnon, Damian Harris, or Edmonds?
Needs 2, right?
Yes.
It's McKinnon right now. We'll see if Raheem Mostert plays. He was limited in practice today. Even if Mostert plays, I think McKinnon's going to keep his role as a pass-catching back. But right now, I have McKinnon in the top 15, I believe. So I'll roll with him. And then it's Harris or Edmonds. See,
Edmonds.
I'm going to go. I have to go Harris right now because we know he has a role. He had 17 carries for 100 yards last week against pretty good Chiefs defense. And I think we're assuming Cam Newton's not going to play. That's, again, going to be determined the next couple of days. I believe he's going to have 2 negative tests back-to-back. I haven't seen any word on that, so I'm going to assume he's out. And I think the Patriots are going to try and run the football against Denver like they did last week, and they had success. Chase Edmonds, his time could come at any point. I think he's not a bad play this week if you're desperate going up against the Jets, although the strength of the Jets is against the run. But I think we're seeing Kenyan Drake not look good, not show the same burst he had last year. But right now I have Damian Harris ranked a little bit higher over Chase Edmonds. So McKinnon and Damian Harris.
For me, all 3 of those guys, by the way, great plays in your DraftKings and FanDuel lineups. They're both very affordable, and I think all 3 of them have very favorable matchups this week. Chase Edmonds, obviously, well, I don't know, maybe not obviously, but a little bit more of a dart throw as he's not technically, I guess, who we consider the lead back, but he could get into the end zone easily this weekend. OBJ, Justin Jefferson, or Allen Robinson? 1 point PPR.
How many?
1.
1, it's got to be Robinson.
Robinson, I agree. All right, Flex Standard League. Need 1. Ayuk, Gordon, or Freeman?
It's Melvin Gordon. He's getting a big workload. I know Philip Lindsay's going to come back this week, but got to go Melvin Gordon.
I think it's probably more about the New England defense that makes people nervous, but I would still go Gordon here too. With the Fournette news, PPR league, Ronald Jones or Dearness Johnson from Cleveland?
It's got to be Ronald Jones. He's still going to get a decent-sized workload. I can't imagine Fournette plays a big role, and Dearness Johnson is still kind of secondary to Kareem Hunt. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see how that plays out this week. They'll mix him in, but the Colts' defense has been pretty good too. I do think, obviously, the Browns' strength is running the football, but I've got to go with Ronald Jones here.
I like that call. All right, I'm jumping over to YouTube, guys. All right, I was offered a trade, Connor and Antonio Gibson for Dalvin Cook. He already has Drake, Gordon, Freeman, and Lindsey on his roster.
So wait, he's giving away Dalvin Cook? Or getting
Yes, he's giving away.
Nah, I'm not trading Dalvin Cook.
I wouldn't either. Full point PPR, Joshua Kelly, Darius Slayton, or Nyheim Hines. Darius Slayton.
It's not Hines, I can tell you that. So it's Slayton, and who is the other?
Joshua Kelly.
It's close. Because I do think Slayton has a good week this week against Dallas, but
I do too.
I'm gonna lean Slayton. Yeah, I do like Kelly. I think he's gonna get the touches. They'll mix in Jackson, but this is a good week for Slayton against Dallas. So I'll go Slayton.
I'm feeling Slayton this week. He had 2 touchdowns the first week. He's been steadily targeted. He hasn't, had the luck, but Daniel Jones has got to throw it to somebody, and Dallas is probably going to be very happy to oblige. They love to surrender points. I hate to say it. It pains me. It pains you too, Adam, I know, so I won't harp on it anymore. Any word on Edmonds? Is he playing? Yes, he's playing. Should I play Devontae Parker or Justin Jefferson? It's a good question.
That is a good question, and I think this week it is Justin Jefferson going up against Seattle. Should be a high-scoring game. He's been played great. So, yeah, we probably would be surprised to say this 2-3 weeks ago, but I do have Jefferson ranked a little bit higher than Parker this week.
Yeah, I have to back that play as well. If I were picking between the two, I would pick Justin Jefferson. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Standard league, Drake or Justin Jackson in my flex. Still got to go Drake.
Yeah, this might be the last week for Drake.
Yeah.
I have him in 2 leagues. Both leagues I have Chase Edmonds, so I don't mind if they make the change. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I can't believe we're to this point, but this might be the last gasp for Drake here.
The one that I have everywhere is actually Justin Jackson. I have him stashed in a lot of leagues, so I'm kind of hoping for him to have his breakout this week, but it's a lot of hope. So we'll see. I am playing him in a flex in 1 league where it's kind of deep, so I need to. All right. All right, we're done with YouTube. Jumping over to Facebook. And Matt, I'm talking to our producer. Hey, Matt, on the other side of the glass out there in Etherland. I am not seeing questions on Periscope again. Can you check and see if there are any coming through for me? That would be odd. You don't either. Okay, great. Okay, guys, we are taking questions on YouTube and on Facebook. And I will also check my latest tweet to see if we have questions there. Okay, Gallup and Boyd or Gallup and Sanders? Which pair?
It's a PPR league.
Yes.
All right. Well, why does Gallup have to be in both? I would go Sanders Boyd.
Sanders Boyd is the play. The play is Sanders Boyd.
Look, the Gallup is a wild card every week. Like he's gonna have big games, and then we're gonna see quiet games. And we've seen it this year because he doesn't get the high percentage throws that Lamb and Cooper get. They target Gallup deep, sideline routes. But Gallup is someone that I want on my roster. It's just there's going to be boom or bust weeks. Tyler Boyd's getting consistent targets. It is against the Ravens. They're good defensively, but we've seen them give up something. I mean, McLaurin had a big game against them last week. We saw the Chiefs destroy them. So, yeah, it's a tough matchup, but Tyler Boyd is just getting the production every week, and it has been disappointing for Miles Sanders. They need to throw to him more. I don't understand why they didn't do it
last week. They don't either.
So I know it's a tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but we can pretty much pencil in 15 to 20 touches, and You got to take that. I know it's frustrating with some of these running backs, but when they're getting 15 to 20 touches, got to play them because they break one big play, they find the end zone, and they make your day. So I got to roll with Sanders and Boyd there. And I do like Gallup this week. I'll be using him in a couple leagues, but I don't know why he was – I guess they're looking at the matchup against the Giants. And again, not a bad play, but if I have to choose two of those three, it's Boyd and Sanders for me.
Okay. Should I hold on to Chubb? Yes.
You should. Hopefully you have an IR spot. Now, they said it's going to be about 6 to 8 weeks, so that is a long time. If you can, there might be some people.
But if you make it to the playoffs, I think you're going to wish you had Chubb.
True. The problem is, though, you might not get there. You have to get there first. So if you only have 5 or 6 bench spots and you have other injuries and these bye weeks coming up, it could be difficult to hold them. And if you're 1-3, 0-4, so these questions of should I do this need more context because I could see a situation where you can't hold them. Hopefully you have an IR spot where you could put him in the IR spot. But if you're 0-4, you're 1-3, you need wins now. Like you could hold Chubb till he comes back. And what if you're 3-8 at that point and you're out of the playoffs? You wasted a roster spot for 6-7 weeks.
Mm-hmm. PPR, need one. Chark, Jefferson, or McLaurin?
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Like, how come you can't play all these guys? Oh,
I'm going Chark.
Me too. Me too.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel good. I'm sorry that you have to make that decision. And congratulations on your 7-team league.
It's got to be 10. But those are all top 20 plays this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should find out who else you're playing because maybe there's a way that you should be playing Jefferson McLaurin over somebody else that you're playing. I can't imagine who else you have. Maybe Allen Robinson or DeAndre Hopkins. I'm trying to think of who would be such a smash play over these guys. Amari Cooper, I guess.
Well, probably got Jefferson late or off the waiver wire.
Right.
McLaurin could have been 6th round pick. He went in the 4th or 5th of many of my leagues. But if it's a 10-team, it could be a 10-team league. That could be it.
Okay, Brait tonight or Thomas or Cox later? Is this Logan Thomas or Ian Thomas?
Well, I would think Logan. But so you said
Ian has a pretty good situation.
Thomas, Cox, and Brait?
Yeah, Brait tonight or Thomas or Cox later.
I can't play Brait because you're banking on a touchdown. You basically are banking on a touchdown with all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Logan Thomas. He continues to get a ton of targets, and maybe Kyle Allen can get him the football. But
yeah,
Mo Alley Cox is good. The problem is they have Doyle and Burton.
Trey Burton.
So
yeah, and Trey Burton actually saw more targets than Mo Alley Cox last week.
Which makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But, Ian Thomas, not to laugh, but if you need someone deep, Ian Thomas, that matchup with Atlanta, and I have Teddy Bridgewater in some of my FanDuel lineups because I think he could be a really strong play and allow you to spend money a lot of other places. And I like what he's done with Robbie Anderson. I think there's a lot of possibility there too, but only in deep leagues. I'm not running out and say go spend your fat on Ian Thomas, please, for the love of God. Do not misunderstand. Okay. Is there any chance you roll Leonard Fournette tonight?
No.
No. Is there a chance that Titans and Bills still don't play? Yes. There's a very, very, very big chance they still won't play. So please don't bank on that. If you have better options, honestly, I can't think of the person you might want to wait on is Derrick Henry, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith, maybe A.J. Brown, and then the Bills, obviously.
Maybe A.J. Brown, but again, A.J. Brown's kind of been injured, and they haven't been practicing. So, by the way, guys, camera phones are everywhere. It's just a good piece of life advice, not just for sneaky football practices.
Yeah.
Camera phones are everywhere. So, yeah, there is still a chance they don't play. Get yourself as much insurance as you can. David Montgomery.
But I think we should have a good idea if that game plays certainly by Sunday morning when we have to set the rest of our lineup.
Right.
So we should have – because they can't just –
No, it's still possible they could get a positive on Monday morning. They're pushing it all the way to Tuesday.
It's possible. But I think any decision, though, involving players – you can't set your lineup till Sunday morning. you make your plays tonight, but then after that, like, you got to wait till Sunday morning before you determine what to do with your Titans and Bills.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. David Montgomery, Jerick McKinnon, Ernest Johnson, non-PPR.
And one?
Yeah, just one.
It's Montgomery. Wait. Montgomery and who was it?
McKinnon.
Oh.
Montgomery, McKinnon, and Ernest Johnson.
I like McKinnon. I know it complicates it because Mostert could be back, but I'm going McKinnon because Montgomery's got a tough matchup tonight against Tampa.
Yeah, also he's not good. I'm sure you've heard me say this before, guys, but he's not good.
Even if Mostert plays, I still think McKinnon is the pass catching back, and he could still score against Miami that way.
This is a non-PPR, but you're right. He could have a receiving touchdown. You're right. Okay. I have Joshua Kelly and David Johnson starting. Should I be worried or will I be okay?
You'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, David Johnson is a good matchup. Joshua Kelly could still be the main back. We don't know yet. We're just waiting to find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's people in a lot worse situations.
Excuse me. Breaking news. This is breaking news, everyone.
Well, I know.
Houston Astros have advanced. They will be moving on to the ALCS. We're waiting to see whether the Rays or the Yankees advance. But they did absolutely crush the Oakland A's 11-6 today, taking this series 3-1. No trash cans were involved. No buzzers. Just really, really good hitting and a lot of nice wind at Dodger Stadium.
That we know of.
That we know of. Come on. You think those cardboard cutouts were banging things around?
Never know. They could have had some, something on there. Nah, but they smashed. They
smashed.
The A's don't have enough pitching, man. Every year they do this. They have a good year. They just don't have enough pitching to succeed in the postseason.
Anyway, I'm just going to quietly celebrate amongst myself. I know most of you hate the Astros, but I'm enjoying my moment. I'm an Astros fan. Okay, you guys can send me hate tweets now. All right. How do you guys feel about Zach Ertz?
Last week was just a disappointing game, but I think you have to continue to roll with them. He should get the targets. So, I mean, tight end's a rough position. I still have Ertz like 5th, 6th in the rankings. So, if I don't have him, but if I did, I keep playing him.
You'd still roll him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Robert Woods or Deontay Johnson?
I'm going to go Robert Woods.
Yeah. Good problem to have there. Who would you be more safe with? Deshaun Watson with his new coach or Big Ben with Deontay Johnson back? I'm rolling out Deshaun Watson this week. Everywhere I have him, I'm playing him in FanDuel. These guys are feeling so relieved. JJ Watt's Instagram says that they're going to win because he posted an inspirational photo, and I'm totally buying it. I think the elephant's off their back, and they have a very favorable matchup with Jacksonville. So I love Deshaun Watson. He's been underperforming. I think they're just going to come out with kind of a little extra something. As a team, I think the problem was, if you read into it a little more, they weren't feeling like a team, and they weren't playing like a team. And I think something has united them. We know Deshaun Watson's one of the most talented quarterbacks out there. He just hasn't really had the chance to flourish. And I think that he's going to have a great game. I am absolutely loving Randall Cobb this week. He's meeting up with DJ Hayden again, the same guy that gave up big games to like Adam Humphries and Jamison Crowder. Tyler Boyd should have had a touchdown against him last week, went for a ton of yards. So there's a lot of fun there with Houston. I also love Big Ben. I'm playing him in leagues where I don't have him, but Deshaun Watson, if there's a choice, I'm going Deshaun Watson. And I totally stole that question. Who would you start, Adam?
No, it's fine. I agree. Watson, last week it was, he still had 300 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. We know the first 3 weeks were tough matchups, but, there probably is a relief that O'Brien was gone. I mean, you just read into everything and guys weren't happy. Still no excuse. Players have to perform, but they got a good matchup against Jacksonville this week. So, yeah, Deshaun Watson is the play.
Okay. Goff or Herbert this week?
That's close. I have Goff slightly higher.
Yeah.
Herbert's interesting this week because, look, it's on the road against the Saints, but there is no fans, so it is a little different. Saints have been banged up defensively. I have Goff slightly higher. The only problem with that is if they play from ahead, they haven't been aggressive, but the game is on the road. Maybe Washington's competitive. It's close. If you want to go Herbert, I'm not going to talk you out of it because whenever I have a guy ranked 1-2 spots apart, it means they're close. It's not overwhelming. So if you feel Herbert, you can. I'm okay with it, but I have Goff slightly higher.
Yeah, I'm having a similar debate as we were talking about before between Ben Roethlisberger and Herbert. And I had been, and then kind of the last hour or two, I've been feeling like, oh, with them naming him the new quarterback, maybe he's going to have some mojo. And it's kind of a feeling thing. So I'm going to wait till Sunday morning to make my decision. But I think you have two good options with Goff and Herbert, their events. What do we think of Drake this week? Well, we kind of touched on this earlier, but do you want to speak a little more to Kenyan Drake, how he kind of looks like crap?
Yeah, I'm worried.
But he has a great matchup.
The Jets, though, have actually been pretty good against the run. I mean, they held Melvin Gordon in check until that big run late in the game.
Yeah.
I'm worried. He's lower than he's been in my rankings all season. I have him in 2 leagues. I'm not – I think one he's in. The other one, I could play Josh Kelly over him, and I'm kind of debating that. So I'm worried. But if you have to use him – this might be his last chance before they really go to Edmonds a little more. So I have him as a low RB2 this week. So it really depends on who you have, but I'm concerned. There's no doubt. You know, he just doesn't have the same explosion. I don't know if it dates back to the injury he had in training camp. And the biggest concern is they're not using him in the passing game. Part of it stems from the Arizona offense. They have not been good. As good as Kyler Murray has been for fantasy, this offense has been terrible. They're not taking shots downfield. Everything's to Hopkins. They're not throwing to Drake. Drake has 5 targets. I don't know why they're not using him in the screen game. So I'm concerned for sure. And it's kind of like, all right, one more opportunity because he should have come through last week against Carolina, and he didn't. But the offense as a whole for Arizona has been disappointing the last couple of weeks.
Lamb or McLaurin in a PPR?
They're both great plays, but I got to go McLaurin. Even though I like Lamb a lot, and you know he can come through. I mean, McLaurin is the main guy there. He's getting all the targets. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. He's excelling. So I'll continue to roll with him. But Lamb's very good play this week too.
Okay. They want to know if they should trade Waller for AJ Brown and CD Lamb. I can give you the rest of the.
Well, who's the other tight end? That's the big question. Who's the other tight end they have?
The other tight end is Andrews.
Oh, yeah, I'll make that trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. How do you have Andrews and Waller, man?
I don't know. 10-team league. He admitted 10-team league.
Yeah, but Andrews was like, even in a 10 is like a 5th-round pick, and Waller's a 7th. Maybe there was another trade involved. But yeah, I got to make that. Don't you make that trade?
Yeah, I would make that trade. Yeah.
I know Andrews is frustrating. He's a little – here's the thing people need to understand. Outside of elite tight ends, they're all inconsistent and dependent on touchdowns. We go through this every year. Oh, the tight end position is deep. And then the season starts and we're like, well, yeah, Tyler Higbee, he's disappointing. Oh, yeah, Mike Gesicki, he's disappointed. Evan Ingram's disappointing. Hayden Hurst is disappointing. So Kittle, Kelsey – Waller's actually been very good. Even Andrews has had a couple down games and needs touchdowns. So it's a position where there's inconsistency. But if I can have Mark Andrews start and then pick up A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb, yeah, I'm doing that. Because Lamb's been getting it done every single week. A.J. Brown, there's slight concern if he's going to have the same explosion with this knee issue. But he could be back as soon as this week or next week. So I would take the shot for sure since I already have one of the good tight ends.
Yeah. If Henry couldn't go, would you start Justin Jackson or D'Ernest Johnson?
This, I'm assuming, is Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
I would go Justin Jackson.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably go Justin Jackson, but that's a tough call.
It's close. The only reason why is because Kelly has fumbled 2 straight weeks. So if there's another fumble, they could say, all right, Justin, your turn. Take over.
They could. It is Justin's turn to give it at least a stab at it. All right, guys, I'm going to hop over to Periscope again and see if I see any questions. It doesn't seem like I do. Matt, Producer Matt, can you double check for me and see if I'm missing anything? You don't see him either. Okay. So there we go. So we will continue on with YouTube. We don't have any questions right now, so I'll just start asking you my questions, Adam. How much do you trust John Brown?
I don't. I retweeted a video today of him in practice, and he came up limping at the end of running a route. So I haven't seen any further update, but it's an issue that bothered him last week, and he didn't play a full complement of snaps. I believe Gabriel Davis played more snaps than him. So the injury report tomorrow is going to be key, but what I saw on video did not look good as he came up limping. So I think it's kind of difficult right now. And I will be updating my rankings with John Brown. Right now I have him right around wide receiver 40, but I might have to push him out of the top 50 depending the update on tomorrow's practice. So it sucks because, well, he does get the extra 2 days now, potentially, because they play the Titans. But I don't know if it's not a good report tomorrow, then I probably wouldn't want to wait around till Tuesday.
Right. It's just, I have him in a lot of leagues, and it's super, super frustrating. So the other question I'm going to ask you, because everybody's been all over me about it as well, what are we doing with Michael Gallup? How do you feel about it? Because I still like Michael Gallup. I just feel like what's happened is he doesn't have a solid floor like the other two receivers seem to be having, but he can have really huge games. So it's really difficult from week to week. And I know a lot of people are really just done with him. How are you feeling? What's your barometer on Michael Gallup?
Yeah, I'm sticking with him. He's going to have some huge games like we saw against Seattle where he had 6 for 138 and a touchdown on 9 targets. And then there's going to be a game like last week where it was 2 for 29 on 5 targets. So the thing is, you want a piece of the Cowboys offense. I don't know if they're going to continue to put up points like this every week. The defense, I think, at some point has to get a little bit better. Maybe not great, but they have to get a little bit better as they get some of these players back from injury. But you look at the schedule, they have the Giants this week, the Cardinals, Washington, Philly. So they have some good matchups coming up again. And we're getting into the bye weeks. Only 2 teams on bye this week, but then more. So I'd hold Gallup if I had him. And, this could be a week where he has a good game. So I do have him in a couple leagues. And I know one of them that I am definitely starting him. And I'm starting him over Scotty Miller, actually.
Okay. Do you have any favorite player props for tonight?
Tonight, no, nothing really stands out to me. I don't think I think it'll go over, but nothing really stands out that I saw before.
Yeah, I took 2 silly little tiny things. I took I took Cameron Brate for an anytime touchdown, which was at plus 170. And I took Jimmy Graham to score the first touchdown at plus 1,600 because why not? Just why not?
Yeah, I don't mind taking those big odds for the first touchdown because if it hits, you get a nice payday.
Yeah, and if not, what did you lose? $5-10? Like, no big deal. Just, just for fun. So, but I didn't go into depth looking at any like receiving yards or anything for tonight. That you didn't see anything. I mean, because you definitely called that Preston Williams touchdown a couple Thursdays ago. So the people have got to ask.
Yeah, as of right now, I have not
winners, Adam Ronis.
I haven't put anything in for tonight as of right now. So it looks like I'm just going to stay off. I'm looking now if there's anything. I do like to mess around with the first touchdown, though, here or there. Let's see, first touchdown.
Yeah, because sometimes they're so ridiculous. I think even Allen Robinson has good odds for the first touchdown, doesn't he?
I see plus 900 on DK Sportsbook for him.
For Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, $5 and you make $45. Like, why not? Right?
Yeah. Like you said, Graham was plus 1,600 also on DK for the first touchdown. Darnell Moody's plus 1,800. Tom Brady plus 3,500. We've seen Brady get a rushing touchdown already this year.
Yeah, that surprised me. That surprised me. All right, Rojo or Melvin Gordon?
I'm gonna go Melvin Gordon. I had Rojo higher with no Fournette, but yeah, but I'm going to still go Gordon. I know Phillip Lindsay could be back, but I'm going to go with Gordon.
I really just don't like this Leonard Fournette being active at the last minute kind of thing. The whole situation there is such a mess. But I'm wondering if they pushed him a little bit because they're down a few receivers. I don't know. I don't know if that matters.
I guess he's healthy enough if they have him out there.
I guess. I mean, he must be. I mean, it's fine. But for people that have Rojo, it stinks. But whatever. It's not like you're banking your season on the running backs for Tampa Bay, I hope. So, okay, guys, if you're writing in questions on Periscope, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing them. So I'm just going to log in right now to my Twitter account and see if you're commenting on this tweet, asking questions. Because a lot of times that's what happens. Okay, Fournette just came off the IR. Got to move one. Would you move Miller or T.Y.? Well, Socks, let me know. Is that Anthony Miller or Scotty Miller? And does that make a difference to you, Adam?
Yeah, if I'm not playing, I'd probably get rid of one of the Millers. As frustrating as T.Y. Hilton has been, I'd probably give him a little bit more. But Anthony Miller's just not doing enough. Love the talent, but he's just not getting enough snaps. And this is not an offense that can support, several receivers. And Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin could be back next week. So Miller's kind of a play this week, and then he's not as appealing.
Yeah. Do you think I could trade Evans for Diggs, or is that overreacting?
I mean, you can. It's a fair deal. I'd probably rather have Diggs myself because Evans has been living on touchdowns. He's got 5 so far, and he's not getting much yardage. He's a little banged up. Godwin will be back, so I'd rather have Diggs, but it's also kind of a lateral move. But I prefer Diggs with the way this Bills offense is playing, even with some tougher matchups ahead. I mean, Diggs has just been great.
You know who else has 5 touchdowns? Robert Tanyan.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel? Do you feel like that's for real? Should we all be in on Robert Tanyan, or is that a situation that's going to change once Davante Adams is back? And do you think people should be entertaining offers for Davante Adams at this point?
I want Adams on my team. I would trade for him if someone's going to give him up. I mean, but yeah, if Tanya's available, you got to pick him up. He's pretty much not anymore. But yeah, I mean, this pace clearly is not going to continue. We all know that. I mean, he's got 5 touchdowns on 14 targets. Okay, anyone who knows math knows that's not going to continue. But the Packers are playing well. Rodgers seems rejuvenated. Whatever happened, because pretty much it's the same team as last year offensively. We all complained about how they did nothing in the draft, and Rodgers is just playing great. And he's looking for Tanyan. He has trust in him. Lazard is out. MVS is not that good. I said it last week that he was not going to have a big game, that I didn't love him last week. And he didn't have a big game. He's more of an athlete. He's not a great receiver. So if you can get something for Tanyan, if someone's going to overpay, sure. He was actually available in a league this week on waivers, and someone paid $533 for him.
Out of 1,000?
Yeah, I put in a bid because I have Kittle, so I didn't really need him, but I said, all right, I'm going to put it in a bid.
Yeah, why not?
I put in a bid of 176. Didn't even come close.
Wow. Okay, Tom Brady or Deshaun Watson?
Watson.
Yeah, agree. Watson all the way for me as well. Slayton or A.J. Brown, need one in a PPR?
We don't know if A.J. Brown's going to play, so right now it's Slayton, but see what the reports are Sunday morning. Or, is Tennessee even going to – when is Tennessee practicing? Can they open the facility tomorrow?
I'll tell you, they've been practicing. Haven't you heard?
Well, I mean, today they didn't practice, though. That was last week, though. But, for real, though, yeah. Are they going to practice tomorrow?
No, that's my concern with A.J. Brown, with Jonnu Smith, with all of these guys. Even, they haven't been able to practice. So for me, I'm fading all of them, even though I love them. I have them on many of my teams. If I have a choice between Darius Slayton
and Jonnu Smith right now, well, maybe you have an option because of last week, but I have Jonnu and Hawkinson, in a lot of leagues. Hawkinson's on bye. I'm playing Jonnu.
Oh, well, then you have to play Jonnu. But I'm saying if you have someone like, even Dalton Schultz, I would play Dalton Schultz.
I could see that. But you got Derrick Henry if you have him.
And I do. Please, God, let them play.
Yeah, I need it too. I only have him in one league, but Derrick Henry to play.
God. All right. Any word on Michael Thomas? It looks like he's probably playing, right?
I am still not sure about that. I'm surprised. Like, I thought he would have been back by now because they didn't put him on IR. And he's missed 3 weeks, right?
Well, I think they were hopeful. Yeah, I think they were hopeful they could bring him back. But with those high ankle sprains, you just don't know how they're going to go. So.
And the other problem is that game is Monday night.
Yeah. So I am still fading Michael Thomas, even in the leagues where I have him, because even if he does come back, I don't trust he's going to be 100%.
No, if you have Michael Thomas, you got to play him as soon as he comes back.
No.
I would. No. I don't have him, but as soon as he steps foot on the field, I'm playing.
Not with the Monday night game. I'm not waiting until Monday and getting screwed. Not doing it.
All right, so what if Schefter reports Sunday morning Michael Thomas will play Monday night?
Then I would start him.
Okay. Yeah. And worst case scenario is you could have Traquan Smith as a backup, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's options, but I wouldn't, if it's questionable, I'm not holding. I have a roster question. ESPN League. If I drop a player on bye this week, will he go to waiver or will he be a free agent that can be claimed right away? My commish doesn't know.
It should be waivers, but it should be, but there are some leagues where if you drop someone, you can pick them up right away. So I don't know I don't play on ESPN this year, so I don't know their setting. But I'm in some leagues where usually they go to waivers, but I am in a league or two where if a player gets dropped, you can pick them up right away. So
I think you can pick them up right away on ESPN. I'm trying to think. I have one league that plays that way, and I think that you can pick them up right away. But I'm sorry, I don't really know the answer to that either. I think he doesn't go to waivers. I think Yahoo he does, but not on ESPN. Should I drop MVS for someone else on the waiver wire since he's just an athlete?
Depends who. But look, how many times have we been through this at MVS that we wait? Oh yeah, great opportunity. Last week was the prime opportunity. Atlanta, what did he do? Nothing. So, he's going to have a big game here or there because Lazard's out, but last week was the perfect opportunity. He had 4 for 45 on 8 targets. I mean, there was a play in the end zone where I thought he should have made it, and he didn't. So we've seen one game this year with a touchdown, week 1 against the Vikings, one of the worst secondaries. And then we've seen 3 for 64, 1 for 5, and 4 for 45. There's just not a lot to get excited about, but it all depends who you add.
Should I be worried about Matt Ryan?
A little bit, but I think their schedule is really good in the weeks ahead. They have the Panthers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Panthers again, and the Broncos. So I know it's been 2 down games, but that was Bears and Packers. So no, not really. I mean, especially
they have a crappy defense. They're going to be playing from behind all the time. He has Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Hayden Hurst, Russell Gage, so many weapons. So every once in a while, a guy will kind of have a dud. It just happens. No, you shouldn't be worried about Matt Ryan. You're good with Matt Ryan. Don't ask if we should sit him this week either. Gonna make me go all. Gordon, David Montgomery, Chark, Deontay Johnson. Need 2.
It was Gordon,
Montgomery, Monty, Chark, Deontay Johnson.
I'm gonna go Chark.
It's PPR.
And
it's hard.
Chark
it's between Johnson and Gordon for me.
I'm gonna go Deontay.
Okay, Chark and Deontay. I like that. Jonathan Taylor, Higgins, or Slayton in my flex PPR league.
You gotta go with Jonathan Taylor. I know he's been disappointing relative to the expectations, but he's still getting huge volume. So Jonathan Taylor.
I agree. Robert Woods or Robbie Anderson? Ooh, God, can you believe this is a question?
I know.
2020.
Woods slightly higher, but
Woods,
can't question you for going Robbie Anderson in that matchup with as good as he's been.
Do it. I agree. Justin Jefferson, Henderson, or Hollywood Brown rest of the year?
So wait, who was the first one?
Justin Jefferson.
No, and Darrell Henderson?
I guess so. Darrell Henderson cannot be the answer here. So Justin Jefferson or Hollywood Brown rest of the year.
I'm still going Hollywood Brown. Look, he's been getting open. Just Lamar Jackson has not been consistent and not been able to get him the football. It's amazing he doesn't have a touchdown yet. He should have a couple. So I'm going to stick with Hollywood Brown.
El Tiburon has answered the ESPN question. Thank you very much. On ESPN, they go to waivers for the same amount of time the regular waivers are, 1 day, 2 days, etc. So hopefully that helps. Thank you very much. Marquise Brown, Fournette, or Devonta Freeman at flex this week? Marquise Brown.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah. Marquise Brown. All right, jumping back over here to Facebook. Nothing there. YouTube, what have we got? All right, let me check in. Okay, Periscope, guys, if y'all are writing in, I'm super sorry that I can't see your questions. If you will jump over to YouTube or Facebook, I'll definitely see them there. But I think I'm not seeing them now. If they're there, I'm sorry. I'm so sad I have Nick Chubb. I'm sad. I'm sad for you too. If I had Nick Chubb, I would also be sad. What is your plan to make up for Chubb? You got to get one.
Michael Thomas did get in a limited practice today.
I like that. What about Juju Smith-Schuster? Did he practice today?
Yes. Him and Deontay Johnson put in a full practice.
Fabulous. Are you concerned at all about Josh Jacobs? I've been getting a lot of questions about that, Adam.
I'm kind of surprised that no one is really saying anything about him because he had that big week 1 and he's kind of been quiet since then. And everyone complains about Drake, but Jacobs hasn't been much better. No, not really. I mean, as bad as he's been, it's because lack of touchdowns, but he has at least 9.5 points every week. But you'd like to see more.
You'd like to see more out of Miles Sanders, too, and they were going at the same place, and Kenyan Drake. And then Joe Mixon was doing the same thing to everybody until he, single-handedly won some of your weeks last week.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing with Jacobs is he does have at least 3 receptions in every game. So that was one of the concerns is how's he going to be in the passing game. So with 13 receptions through 4 games, he's on pace for 52. And I think we all said, yeah, we'll take 40, 50 receptions out of him. So the carries have been down because they've been playing from behind. He had 52 carries the first 2 games. He's got 31 the last 2. So, and this could be a game where I expect him to be trailing against the Chiefs, but you got to hope that he can get some of those touches early on.
A bumblebee just flew in here. It's very near to me, but I'm going to remain very, very calm because I think that bumblebees smell fear. So if you hear any screaming, you'll know why. Okay, how do we feel about Jerry Judy? Well, we feel better now that Stephon Gilmore may not be playing this weekend, right?
Yeah, and there's also the potential that Drew Lock can be back, especially now that gets the extra day. But yeah, look, Judy's good. He's got at least 9 points in PPR formats at each game, and I think it should only get better for him going forward.
The guy who has Nick Chubb now has Devin Singletary. Sorry about that.
Singletary's better, obviously, if Moss is out. I think Moss he was limited today, so it could be worse.
Travis Kelce or Jonnu Smith? The answer is still always Travis Kelce. I love Jonnu Smith. But even just barring the whole, are they going to play, which is a pretty major consideration, the answer is always Travis Kelce.
Yeah, for sure.
Always, always, always. Okay, Flex Standard League. Mixon, Chark, Deontay Johnson, or Woods?
Only one?
Oh, yeah, one.
I'm gonna go. You always want to play the running back, but Mixon has Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So Chark.
I'm going to go Chark too.
Yeah.
Who else do you have in your league that this is your you guys, you must be taking everybody else for a ride with these rosters. Like, how is anybody else in your league even playing at all? It's like ridiculous. I'm jealous. How are you doing in your leagues, Adam? How about have you been hit by all this BS? Because there's like so many injuries and cancellations.
Yeah, I had no Chubb, no Eckler, but I've lost Barkley.
I didn't either.
I've lost Barkley, AJ Brown. I have one awful team, and everything else is 2-2 or better. So 2-2, 3-1, 1-4-0 team. So overall, pretty good for the most part. But I do have one awful team that just had Barkley, AJ Brown, had James White missing 2 weeks, Deontay Johnson with the bye last week. Like anything that could go wrong on that team has gone wrong. And it's 1-3, and I know it's not going anywhere. But like I've always said, I'm going to continue to set my lineup, waivers. I'm going to fight it out to the end. But you have to realistically assess your team. There's some 1-3 teams that are very good, and they just have had bad luck. And there's believe it or not, there's some 3-1 teams that are not that good, that you got lucky. Maybe you scored 110 and got by. Another week you scored 115, placed a low-scoring team. So you kind of just have to realistically assess your team. And, you know, I had one league last week where I put up 195 because I had George Kittle and Beckham. And, you know, the team now went from 7th, 8th in points to top 3. So one big week can really turn things around for you.
Yeah. I took my first loss in a league I was undefeated in, super bummed about it, 14-team auction league, lost by 9 points, and it was totally because I started Frank Gore, which I shouldn't have done last Thursday, which we talked about. Should have gone the other way, but whatever. I was in first in that league. Now I'm in second. I'm in second because of my record, but I still have the most points by a lot. The person with a 4-0 record is 100 points behind me. So, you just got to keep putting forth the best team you can, even if you lose your week. Hopefully you're in leagues where points count.
Yes.
Should I play the Bucs defense tonight?
Yeah, they're a good play. I don't know what else you have, but I have them top 5. Yeah. There could be turnovers from Foles. So yeah, I think the Bucs are a solid play. I think defenses are terrible this year because we're seeing teams put up so many points. It's just really hard to get points out of your defense this year.
Yeah.
Even the Chargers last week. The Chargers had a touchdown, but they gave up so many points. They didn't have a lot.
I know. At the beginning of that game, I was like, yes, I was right to play the Chargers. And I was like, no, you're an idiot. Sit one, Cup, Hollywood, or Chark?
Oh, my goodness, man. Really? I guess Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess Hollywood, too. Cup has a really good matchup this week, as does Chark. Hollywood always does, too. But in my league, I have 40 more points against than anybody else. That's awesome.
Bad luck. I hope that total points account for a playoff spot or two, which is something I've talked about for a long time. It should not be top 6 records. We need to change that.
Ertz, Hurst, or Allie Cox?
Ertz, man, you gotta stick with him. I know it was terrible last week, 4 catches, 9 yards, but they're still hurting at receiver. I don't know if Deshawn Jackson will be back. Alshon Jeffrey didn't play, and there's no Dallas Goedert, so just roll with Ertz.
Would you drop Mike Williams for David Moore in a PPR league?
No, because David Moore, that was a fluky play at the end of the first half. He was wide open. He's not going to get enough volume. Williams, it doesn't sound like he's going to play this week. So if you wanted to drop him because you need someone this week, sure, but not for David Moore.
All right. John says he's dying because Elliott's not scoring and Taylor's doing nothing. And Mixon finally had a week, but he lost by 12 because Matt Ryan did nothing. Well, yeah, that's the break. Sucks. But you know what? You have Elliott, you have Taylor, you have Mixon. Oh, yeah. It's just a war of attrition. I think that it's hard because it's once a week and we all get so excited and worked up if we don't win. But really, even in fantasy football, it's not just in fantasy baseball. There's a level of patience you have to exercise because everybody's going to have a bad day. And if they happen to have 2 in a row, we start thinking, oh, they stink. We want to get rid of them. But you can't do that. Everybody's going to have an off day. At the end of the season, you're going to look and how it ends up. And you'll be like, oh, actually, that guy's still a top 3 at the position, and I got so mad at him. So just kind of hang in there. Your roster's strong, John, because you also have Mixon, Chark, Deontay Johnson, or Woods in your flex. We just had to choose. So I'm sure you're going to be absolutely fine at the end of this season.
This should be a week where Zeke gets fed. Like, they've been playing behind. I tweeted this out.
Good shot.
I tweeted out yesterday, the Cowboys have only led for 7 snaps this year. So
they disgust me.
Zeke had 22 carries in each of the first 2 games, only 26 combined the last 2 weeks. It has resulted in him catching 23 passes on 30 targets. But, this could be a game they're playing from ahead, and they might just say, we want to run the football a lot this week to kind of keep the defense off the field. So, you don't worry about Zeke. The volume's there. He scored a touchdown in each of the first 3 games. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, oh, he didn't score last week, and now you're upset. He's not scoring every week.
Yeah. Yeah, and can imagine that you drafted Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey instead, or even Derrick Henry. I've been dying without Derrick Henry. Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs haven't been spectacular. Neither has Kenyan Drake, and Joe Mixon's done what Joe Mixon's done. So, just kind of stinks this year, but that's just what happens. Just hang.
Update. According to Jay Glazer, Leonard Fournette is an emergency situation only running back tonight. So.
Do I put Rojo back in my lineup? What am I going to do?
Yeah, maybe you can.
Oh, God. All right. Patriots defense or Colts defense?
I think I have the Patriots higher. Yeah. Especially since Rippon could be the quarterback. So, and the Patriots defense played very well last week. So, give me the Patriots.
Last question. Eric Ebron, Ian Thomas, or Allie Cox? The answer is
Ebron.
Eric Ebron.
Good matchup this week.
Yeah, Philadelphia is absolutely surrendering all the points they can to the tight end. Play Eric Ebron with confidence. I hope you win. Adam, thanks as always for being here with me tonight. He updates his rankings all the time, guys. If you want the best rankings in the business, go find Adam Ronis' NFL rankings on fantasyalarm.com. We will do this chat again on Sunday morning at 11 a.m., myself and Howard Bender will be here taking all your start-sit questions. In the interim, if you have any more questions, you can go online to fantasyalarm.com. There's always someone brilliant and awesome in the chat that will take your questions at 24/7, basically. And I know a lot of my coworkers, and a lot of them don't sleep, Matt Sells. So feel free to ask away. And in the meantime, do you have any closing thoughts, Adam?
No, just make sure you pay attention to the news this weekend. It's going to be pretty important to make sure these games get played.
That's right. Okay, guys, go out, win your weeks. We'll see you on Sunday.